Hi, my name is Laura, and I'm here to guide you through the Smart Youth Finance webinar. This webinar is specifically designed for teens, young adults, and their parents. This webinar talks about money. We spend a lifetime making money, saving money, spending it, and investing money for the future. And I know, really, there's no lessons or classes that help you prepare on how to do it right. So if you talk to a lot of adults, they'll tell you they've made mistakes with their money, and they spend a lot of time making up for those mistakes. So I hope that you will find today's webinar an opportunity for you to start to learn about the tools for your financial independence. This webinar is broken out into 4 parts, and each of the parts are going to deal with a different tool for your financial independence. This part deals with money management. The other tools will be covered in the other sessions of the webinar. So we're talking in this session about money management, and basically that's knowing where your money is going today and having a plan on how you want to use your money in the future and how you want to save your money. Also, we're going to touch on budgeting. I want to point out to you right now our web address, our website, which is www.ibmsecu.org. On our website, you'll find all sorts of other learning resources, including podcasts and other tools to help you learn about financial independence. So, money management. Again, the basic concept is being aware of how you are using your money today by writing everything down, and then setting goals on how you want to use your money in the future and what you want to save for in the future. And I know it's fun to have the best and most expensive items, but if you can't afford these items and you're having to borrow from somebody in order to buy these items, then you're going to run into problems in the future. So I think it's important to know the difference between needs and wants. A want, that's a desire, something that you can live without if you had to. And a need, well, that's something that's essential. Life would be a hardship without this item. So when I think about it, transportation comes to my mind. Everybody has a need for transportation. You need to be able to get from your house in the morning to school, and then get from school to your job after school, and then get back home afterwards. And you might think, yeah, that transportation need is best fulfilled by that shiny sports car. It goes really fast and it looks good. But what I want to tell you is, don't let your wants trick you into thinking they're the answer for your need. In this situation, your need is probably best fulfilled by a used vehicle, inexpensive, that gets good gas mileage. Or it could even be best fulfilled by public transportation, as long as it's safe and efficient. So again, don't let your wants trick you into thinking they're the answer for everything. So you have to make choices, and you need to use your money wisely. So I encourage you to do what I do when I'm going to purchase something. I ask myself, is this item a need or is it a want? And I suggest to you, if you have specifically saved your money for this item and you find out it's just a want, you've saved your money and you have the cash for this item, it's probably okay to go ahead and buy it. But I also suggest, if you haven't saved your money for this item and it's a want, and you're going to have to borrow money from somebody in order to get it, walk away from that purchase right now. Save for it and buy it at a later time. It's really important at your age that you learn how to say no to certain things. Goals are an important part of your life, especially financial goals. Financial goals determine what you want to work for money-wise in the future. And really, your financial goals need to be made specific. And what I mean by that is you need to be able to determine how much your goal is going to cost you. That's how much is the cost, what's the amount involved, and the time frame by which you want to reach this goal. And I think the time frames really are related to the size of the goal or the cost of the goal. You'll see we have 3 goal time frames: short-term, mid-term, and long-term. Short-term is anything that you can reach within 1 year, so it's something that's probably reasonably small. For example, maybe you want to get a Guitar Hero game. Maybe that's about $60. If you work hard and save your money, do you think within 1 year you could come up with $60 to buy that? I think that's probably doable. A mid-term goal is something a little bit larger. It's going to take you 1 to 3 years to save for that item. Oh, let's say maybe you have a laptop in mind that you want to get. That's something that you probably could save for within 1 to 3 years. And a long-term goal, well, that's something that's much larger, and it's going to take you 3 years or longer to be able to work towards and achieve that goal. For example, maybe you want to save for your first car or start saving for your college education. Those are large items. And of course, I encourage you to break the cost of these goals down into smaller bits, such as monthly goals, so that you can work towards them each month so that you can eventually reach that goal. Well, how do you do this? Well, the way that you make your goals monthly is you take the total cost of the goal and divide it by the time frame, or the number of months that it'll take you to reach this goal. So back to our example of getting a laptop. Let's say that you have a laptop in mind that's going to cost about $600. And you know you want to buy this laptop within the next 2 years. Well, there's 24 months in 2 years. So the way you can make this goal monthly is take the $600, divide it by 24 months, and you'll find that you need to save $25 a month starting now in order to reach your goal within 2 years. Now, if you find that once you break it down monthly that it's just too much for you to handle, you've got some options. You could consider getting a less expensive version of your goal. You could buy a less expensive laptop. Or you could work more hours so that you can earn enough to be able to reach your goal monthly. Or you could consider extending the time frame for which you want to reach that goal. Along the way, you're going to have to be flexible too. You're going to have temporary setbacks because life happens. Let's say that you are driving your car to get to work and you get a flat tire. You know what? You're going to have to get that tire fixed. And although it may cause you a problem in working towards your goal financially that month, don't let it throw you off totally. Just keep going. It's okay to have a temporary setback, but learn that persistence is really important in any goal that you're working towards, even your financial goals. So earlier I mentioned that budgeting is an important part of money management, and I want to talk about budgeting right now. I know budgeting, that sounds a lot more complicated than what it really is. Budgeting is basically knowing what you have coming in. That's your income, your sources of income and how much it is. And then spending that money according to your financial priorities and saving for the future. Budgeting involves writing everything down as far as your expenditures for a period of 2 to 4 weeks so that you can get a good idea of how are you spending your money right now. Then you take a step back and you analyze your spending patterns and you identify any wasteful spending habits and then eliminate them. Now, everybody is different, so all your budgets, everybody's budgets are going to be different. Everybody has different levels of income, everybody has different expenses, and everybody has different priorities for saving for the future. But there's one thing in common in everybody's budget, and that is your expenses cannot exceed your income. Now, to create a budget, you can do it the old-fashioned way, which is a pen and paper, or you could use a computer spreadsheet. It doesn't matter which way you use. Whichever way you do create your budget, you're going to have two parts to it. The first is your income. Of course, that's where you look at any source of income from your job or maybe allowance from parents or both. And then the second thing you look at is your expenses, both the current way that you're spending your money and then the proposed way of spending your money so that it aligns with your financial goals. In just a minute, I'm going to show you some spreadsheets that you have available to you to write out your budget. But right now, what I want to show you is an example of a budget of a hypothetical 16-year-old. Remember, our budget deals with two things, our income and our expenses. In this example, it's a 16-year-old girl who lives at home with her parents, and the assumption is her parents provide all of her essential things. They provide her housing, her food, they pay for any schooling that she has. And she does have a couple of bills. We'll talk about those in a second. And she has a job and an allowance. So let's talk about the income part. She works a part-time job. She works quite a few hours because she has take-home pay of $300 a month. And she's getting an allowance from her parents of $100 a month. So her total income is $400 a month. For her expenses, she is required to pay her cell phone bill and her car insurance. Her cell phone costs $50 a month, and her car insurance is $200 a month. So her total expenses are $250 a month. So we compare her income to her expenses. Her income, again, $400 a month. Her expenses, $250. So she has available to her $150 still to spend or to save. Now I want to take a sidestep and give you an opinion. Everybody has a different opinion on this, but my opinion about saving is this. I believe that you should live your life in such a way that you can save 10% of your take-home pay. And that 10% can be used to save towards your financial goals, setting aside something that you want to buy in the future, or setting aside money to put into an emergency account so that when you have life's emergencies happen to you, like a flat tire, you'll have money to pay for that. I encourage you to talk to your parents, talk to your teachers, maybe talk to your mentors about what their viewpoint is on saving for the future. This slide gives you an example of the spreadsheet that's available to you to help you write down your budget. If you will, look at your workbook on page 3, and you'll find this spreadsheet available to you. This is where you write down your income. And this is a copy of the spreadsheet that you will write out your spending plan on. This is, remember, you record your expenses for a period of 2 to 4 weeks. That's your current spending pattern. And take a look and decide how do you want to change it for the future, and then you write out your proposed spending plan. Of course, you need to compare your income to your expenses. And if you find right now that you are spending too much, now is the time to make a change. I want to tell you about another learning resource that's available to you. It's the Balanced Financial Fitness Program. These are counselors that are available to you for free of charge to help you understand more about managing money and saving for the future. And remember, on our website, www.ibmsecu.org. You have plenty of other resources that are free for you to use too. Listen to our podcasts, and I encourage you to read through the educational modules about managing your money and then take the quiz at the end. We've come to the end of session 1, and we talked about money management. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us. The number is on your screen, or send us an email, and we're happy to answer your questions about money management. In summary, money management is an important tool for your financial independence from your parents. I encourage you to follow along to part 2, 3, and 4 of the Smart Youth Finance. Join us for part 2, where we'll talk about preparing for future bills. Thank you.